Have you heard of the Hangar Module? Yes, dude, of course we're going to have player housing. There'll be, that's what it's going to be. The hangar is your housing in Star Citizen. And if you want multiple hangars, well, around the universe, that's fine too. You can park ships all over the place. It's up to you. You bet there's going to be player housing. Have you heard of the Hangar Module? Just kidding, bro. Yes is the answer to that question.
The game is 2 years out, but we're planning to release parts of the Ultimate game early. You'll even be able to invite some of your friends to your hangar. We'll probably have some of the customization options ready by then, so people can actually see all this stuff they've bought, which would be really cool.
The people that have pledged more or have bought bigger, better ships, they will actually get an upgraded hangar.
This is for my Aurora, and what if I had like more than one ship? So like if I have my Cutlass.
So this is a complete modular system that through engineering can automatically duplicate itself.
Yeah, that is the idea. We're building the finished component. We're building the game like in a matter of components. Like you start with the hangar module, then you go to the dogfighting, which you enter from the hangar module, and then maybe planet side, you might have a door that opens up and you get a visit with your friends like in a bar kind of thing. So it's all going to be done kind of tinker toy together off the hangar module. Hangar being first thing until we get to Squadron 42 and the rest, which will be the bigger releases.
And in the first iteration of the hangar, we probably won't have every single ship. Like, for instance, we won't have the Idris Corvette and a few other things that you can have in the hangar and have access to in the first drop. Eventually we will. We'll iteratively do it.
I'm going to pull over one of the other, actually the laser repeater, and I'll plug that in. And that'll completely switch out the actual weapon that's available. So it completely changes the effect, changes everything. So it's just demoing off exactly like what the weapons are going to be capable of.
But are we going to have housing in the game? Is there going to be housing?
We are going to do something like that. We're going to do a hangar expansion system.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We are currently working on a hangar expansion system, and so you'll get a kind of a taste of that as we go through the next few months, where you'll have living quarters, and we'll be building out from the hangar on these things.
The idea that we wanted to add on like room extensions, hangar customization to the max to allow the players to really make this feel like their own home, like housing for their ship. That's essentially what that is. I'm talking about specialty rooms specifically. So what you've seen so far is a shooting range and a course, I guess, a trick course, where you can use the buggy and you can jump through hoops and whatnot.
So when you go in your hangar, you will find some special spots, so basically attach point, just like with the ships, but for your hangar. And using the Mobiglass, you'll be able to access the hangar service. And in augmented reality, you'll be able to access that point, look for the rooms you want to add, buy it, install it, and then there's going to be a construction time.
And the Asteroid hangar will come if you own a Cutlass. So if you don't have one of those, you might want to think about getting it.
Oh, well, we're in the hangar. Let's go do something though. Okay, so I'm going to go. The plan has always been to completely refactor them, because we're moving away from a very sort of custom-sized hangar, which is what we used to have, to a much more modular system. And so for Arena Commander V0.9, when we release it, we're going to release completely new hangars for everyone. And so we're going to show what the new hangars all look like here. They've all been redone with PBR. In some ways, the hangar is still going to be the hub. We have some later stage stuff that will debut that will sort of remove the loading screens and make it sort of more seamless and streaming. Not just there. It's not just there yet, but it will be, in the not too distant future. When I walk out of my Revel and York hangar and find myself in a spaceport such as LSR, where I can then requisition a ship to fly. Yes, that is 100% our goal. For me, the goal is to get the game to the point which I'm very confident we can do this year, where we're not going to a Hangar Module or we're not going to ArcCorp as a separate module. It's all just one that we go between these different locations all in the universe.
When they brought in the Revel in York, they started bringing in the room system that they had at the time. And the room system allowed you to expand to either side with multiple areas to put your ships. Again, more lounge area here where you can hang out with buds whenever they implement that feature.
What are the plans, if any, for our personal hangars? Obviously, hangars have been a part of Star Citizen since the beginning, the very first version.
If you had, say a Revel York hangar, well, that might be in Microtech, right? Because it's this big, fancy, high-tech thing, and then that would allow things like being able to invite your friends to your hangar and stuff like that. So it's, and you would. The plan is to still be able to do all the, flair or, placement of your stuff to personalize your hangar, just as it was before. So
if you'd got all the Endeavor modules, you're going to have this huge hangar. Because they're physical things, you might not have them on your ship all the time. You're going to open this hangar door, and there is all your Endeavor modules arranged in this big warehouse just there waiting.
So we could put, the liquor cabinet. Well, let's put the liquor cabinet. Now, we used to be able to drink from the liquor cabinet, and it would get us drunk in here. You can't do that anymore, evidently. There was also a jukebox that you could put music in, actual music like MP3s, and play it here in the hangar. So that was a really cool feature they had. I wish we could still do that. You can see this mine actually finally came in here. Really cool. It's a space mine. You'll be able to see these pretty soon in the game, actually in a few months. You can see it was made by Aegis. Like for the Nautilus.
The Hangar Module is currently disabled while we examine needed fixes for issues with the module. There is currently no time frame for when it will return.
What is the difference between persistent hangars and the personal hangars that citizens are familiar with?
The idea was, at least to my knowledge, was that these personal hangars were actually meant to be someplace that was in the game. Asteroid hangars were supposed to be on some place like Grimhex or wherever. These will be things that you can buy. They'll be yours, you can rent them maybe, things of that nature, right? It's taking that personal hangar and really just kind of transplanting that into the game and allowing the game to persist it in whatever state you leave it.
We are removing future work for the following deliverable temporarily. Persistent hangars.
There's an early hangar flare. Modern day players may go, hangar? Flare? Way back when we had this hangar module you could load in and just kind of stare at your ships in.
Persistent hangars are kind of an evolution of instant hangars. And really what it is it's our first step towards real player ownership in the game beyond ships.
The cool thing is that you'll be able to put your stuff in it, come back to it, and it's still gonna be there.
It's just whatever the player wants to keep inside their hangar, that's their home. They can just leave them lie around, they can arrange them however they want, be it weapons or cargo or dead corpses or whatever.
Very, very long term. I have no clue of any dates or anything, but you'll be able to customize it and upgrade it so it becomes bigger. You can have bigger ships in them. And maybe at some point even having them like at distant location, you could buy a second one. For now, it's gonna really be on your own location.
Have you heard of the Hangar Module?